about that.
Hi everybody, we're playing around with electronics and trying to get organized here. We're not doing a very good job of that, are we? Hi, it's the CCJT Amateur Hour, protects if I go to die, as we always say. That's CC.
And that's JT.
Good morning, it is Sunday, August 23rd. We're winding down August, we're winding down the summer, we're about to go into the burr months.
Yeah.
And we had something planned, and then the last 24 hours happened.
Things literally blew up.
Yeah, kind of, well. But,
in a sense.
So things happened the last 24 hours. And normally what we would talk about would lead off, but we're not going to go there. We're going to talk about something that happened in real life versus something that happened to our little company. And the Hawk Fire. And
yet another fire.
And yeah, yet another fire. Now, we just got over the bug fire and the
stallion fire,
which led to the evacuation of your parents.
Yep.
Which led to the evacuation of your parents because they were.
They were actually in between the two fires.
And so, and he lives up on, for the locals, he lives up on Pyramid Highway. North of
Palomino Valley.
Yeah, so north of Spanish Springs and everything like that. I don't know, does he live closer to Pyramid Lake than he would to Sparks? Yeah.
Yes.
But still, that entire region up there, which has got ranches and government facilities and just open plains, but probably not for much longer because it's always getting developed.
Yes.
But, he got the sign, or they got the sign when the power got cut off.
The power was cut and it was so smoky they couldn't open their windows. They had no air conditioning. Obviously, the internal filter system in their house would have been connected to the air conditioning. So they decided to leave just before they actually ended up under an evacuation order. So it was good timing for them. They found a hotel room and spent 3 or 4 days there, I think.
Yeah.
And the last time I talked to him, he was actually working on FEMA paperwork because they did declare it a disaster area. And I think the current one is headed in the same direction.
Yeah. Now, to put this in perspective, so if you're looking at a map of the Reno Sparks area, it happened up those two fires happened up here. Mm-hmm. They happened to the north, and they kind of, as Cece said, they joined in the middle. And we were definitely concerned about your parents.
Yep.
And we were kind of concerned about our daughter, but
actually all of our kids, because they're all up in that area.
But really, it was your parents that were really in the line of fire, literally. Mm-hmm. But for the kids that do live in Spanish Springs, they would have had to get through a lot of infrastructure to get to them. So
yes.
That wasn't going to happen.
Hopefully.
And for our daughter who lives in Stead, again, same deal. It would have had to get through some infrastructure, cross the Stead airport and all that stuff, and that wasn't going to happen.
No.
So we were justified.
Concerned.
We were concerned,
yep.
But we were not worried because of reality. Then the Hawk Fire broke out yesterday, and I saw it on the map, and I went, "Oh crap!" Because it was on Peavine Mountain, and let's explain where Peavine is. Whereas before we were talking about the north of the Reno Sparks area, now we're going to talk about the border. And, well, actually, it's still north of Reno. It is north of Reno, but it's right up against Reno.
Yeah.
It is right up against Reno, and it's relatively close to the Nevada-California border.
Yep.
Importantly, what set off my alarms is the fire was directly southwest of our daughter who lives in Stead. And it's like, I don't know if you remember me saying that. I was something like, oh boy, she's in trouble.
Yeah.
She's in trouble because it's going to head right to her. And
it did.
It did.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It did.
It did. And, it's like, and it was just a massive front. And we have to give, of course, kudos to the firefighters, the first responders, the pilots, the air crews, people fortunately stationed out of Stead. And
obviously the air crews in particular, because it's dangerous enough for the firefighters on the ground, but the airdrops, they're also fighting the wind. Yeah. And anybody who has flown in and out of the Reno airport knows what it feels like to be in a plane in those winds. Yeah. And they are doing some really low drops over the fire zones. in hilly terrain.
Yeah.
So the ground firefighters are obviously in great danger as well, but those, just a slight wind shift, a slight wind gust, a microburst, and they're down. So helicopters and the tankers, I think they need extra kudos for having to deal with that.
Oh yeah, thousands and upon thousands of people have flown into Reno.
Yeah,
and especially from the north. And I have described it as taking it as jumping down 2 or 3 steps at a time. Boom, 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 boom.
It's like a stair step.
Yeah, and like you said, just those guys were just doing fantastic work.
Well, and when you get wind shear, there was one trip we took where we were flying into Reno, and it actually blew us off course for the runway, which was absolutely terrifying. So going through, and then you have the winds that are generated by the fire as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you have things like firenadoes, and it's a very dangerous situation both on the ground and in the air. But those pilots, man, oof.
Anyway, so the evacuation zones, and they came in 2 flavors, yellow and red. Yellow is get ready to evacuate. Red is evacuate now.
Yeah.
And so I'm just watching this, and it's like almost immediately it becomes red on the main thoroughfare through there, 395, US 395, which is north and south thing, which dissects Reno and Sparks basically, and then goes up, and also by the way Carson City.
Yeah.
But it dissects Reno and Sparks, and it goes up to the north to the border in a northwesterly direction.
Yep.
And when the red hit when the red evacuation zones hit 395, that's when I said she needs to get out of there. She needs to get out of there. And then not long later, the yellows started to creep across the 395.
Yeah.
And then they, forgive me, exploded. It's like, she needs to get out of there.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then the reds crossed the highway.
And now, there has been some pushback in the past, like with the last fire, because evacuation means taking the animals out of the house, of course, which complicates matters, excuse me, for everybody. So she does have 3 fur babies, and getting them up and out of the house takes a little bit of work. So obviously she didn't want to evacuate. Like for the last fire, the evacuation zone was within a mile of her house, but it wasn't moving. This one started gradually creeping toward, so she actually saw it coming and got the cats ready, put them in their containers, churro for the win, getting those little snacks. So needless to say, they knew it was time to get out. And the North Valleys, for anybody who might be familiar with it, the roadways in and out of there are very limited. So you have 395, and they closed 395 northbound. So it was closed from Parr Boulevard up to the California border, which is
the sheriff's office, basically.
Yes, the Washoe County Sheriff's Office. So northbound traffic could not go that way. They were allowing southbound traffic so that the people in the North Valleys could evacuate. There is also a back way that goes through Sun Valley, thankfully, because that's the way our other kids were able to go and retrieve her. So there was a lot of traffic. Obviously, in the dark, they could see the fire approaching, tons of heavy smoke, and thousands, tens of thousands, I think, of people are currently out of their homes. From what I've heard, the one evacuation center had to close down because it was at capacity, so they moved them to a larger one. The overflow people were going to mid-south Reno, kind of the Reno Sparks Convention Center. And then the hotels are providing rooms at reduced rates. So I've heard that they've pretty well booked up, and part of that may be due to the fact that the fire is also affecting Boomtown,
which is out on West I-80, which is it's a big, I don't want to say humongous, but it's a big facility. But not only that, it has an RV park in the area. It has all of that, and they were told to evacuate last night.
Yes. So all of the people who were staying there probably hurried into town to get other accommodations. Plus you had the tens of thousands of people coming out of the North Valleys. And like I said, the one evacuation center was at capacity. People are staying with friends and family if they can, and it's a mess. It looks a little bit better this morning, but the winds haven't kicked in for the day, so we still don't know where it's going. The official word currently is that our daughter's place is just on the edge of the evacuation zone. She was in the prepare to evacuate area, but considering the hour and how many people were trying to get out at the same time, it was best for her to leave when she did.
Yeah.
So that's how we spent our evening last night, was watching the evacuation maps, watching news reports, texting back and forth with the kids. So anybody who is affected by this, and we do know a lot of people who personally, not just our daughter, we know a lot of people who live up there. One of my former coworkers lives in that area. Some people that we deal with now, writer friends, they have, if they're not directly affected, then family members are also affected. So, and we know this is not the only place where this kind of thing is happening. There have been a lot of large, dangerous fires this summer. So we definitely are sending our thoughts and sympathies out to everybody who's been affected by these fires.
And I'm looking at the perimeter map right now of the area, and the fire as outlined, what it is they have these fabulous, I wish they didn't have to use them, but they have these fabulous scientific planes with all sorts of sensor equipment which can map the edges of it, and it is firmly up against 395 now.
Yeah.
It has touched 395. And ironically, if you follow that line, it goes right straight into our daughter's place, but they still don't have it as a red zone.
No, but the school that she teaches at is in an evacuation zone, and they have cut power to the entire area as a preemptive measure because they don't want, the live power lines basically to go down and spark more fires. So even, if one slight wind shift and she's easily in the evacuation zone, she's currently safely at our other kid's house, but it's like, we hope that everybody who needed to evacuate has evacuated. If they are in a get ready to evacuate zone,
get out.
Get out if you can, because you don't want to wait until the last minute.
Especially because it always happens in Nevada, and I'm sure around every mountainous region, the winds will start coming down from the hill. And Peavine is like, as I said, it's like right there.
Yeah.
And it's going to come down Peavine. And the winds are going to be totally unpredictable with the heat going up, and it's, and of course it's in the 80s and 90s, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I don't see any sign of clouds this morning, so it's also low humidity, which doesn't help matters. We don't have any rain in the forecast, and not only were we watching the maps, but they also have fire cameras out there, and there were a couple of fire cameras on top of Peavine that I was actually watching, and I could see the flames approaching the cameras. One of those cameras is now down. It's no longer broadcasting. Not sure if it actually burned or if it's because they cut the power.
I was watching the film of the fire line approaching it, and then
it cut out.
It cut out.
So it's probably fire. The second one that's up at the very peak of Peavine is still active. The one at the Reno State Airport went down for a while. It's back up, so I think that one might have been a power issue.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of ways to watch these things, and
it was not helping our stress level, because there's nothing we could do, because if we were to drive up there, there was no way to get to her unless we go through, We
would have had to go around.
Yeah.
And it would have taken twice as long to get there. And just going from where our other kids live out to her house, it took, with traffic, well over an hour. And then fortunately, they were able to take the southbound 395 evacuation route, which was a little bit cleaner, because there's one route that goes through the North Valleys into Sun Valley, and then it goes across to you can go across to Spanish Springs, or you can go down south into Reno from that direction. But there are not a lot of good routes in and out, and it's in a bowl because Peavine is there, and there are also hills all along the other side. So it's a very stressful situation for everybody involved.
So that was on our mind last night. And so we're watching it, feeling totally helpless, basically, because there's nothing we could do with our kids, because, it's just the way it is.
And just, for full accountability here, our kids are well into their adulthood. So, even if we could encourage them to leave, we can't force them to leave, because they're
stubborn.
They've been adults for a long time now.
Yeah, they're Irish.
Well.
Okay, so while this was all unfolding, we received some good news. And this is, as I said, something like this would normally lead off a podcast that would get its own post and everything like that. But let's talk about the Best of Carson, which is a contest by the Nevada Appeal. Now, this is the second Best of Carson contest that we entered this year.
Mm-hmm.
I entered one, and I don't remember what it's technically called. Do you remember?
Well, we both entered separately.
Right.
He came in third.
Yeah, third.
I didn't place at all. I was
And the
at
person that
bottom.
won isn't even in Carson.
No, she left a long time ago. Now, to caveat that, it was specifically a category, I think, about authors, like local authors.
Yeah.
The category in the Best of Carson for the Nevada Appeal was kind of a catch-all, I think. Yeah. So I'm actually startled.
Yeah, and that was just weird. Let me see. I'm looking to see if I can find what's going on here.
I think it was like most unique business or something.
Yeah, it was. We there wasn't any other category that came close to us. So, excuse me. So we entered 2 more books LLC because because it was a business thing, and that's of course was our LLC. A little publishing, and then we both tried to vote every day, which is allowed. And again, this is sponsored by the Nevada Appeal, which is the local newspaper.
Yep.
And it actually it has quite a bit of visibility because people who win will put up banners.
Yep.
Because it's great advertising. They will get these vinyl banners, and it will just you'll go into
Best
a place,
of Carson.
You can't miss it. Best of Carson, which is fantastic for them. So there's quite a bit of visibility. And we sort of did it on a lark, being very realistic.
Yeah.
Being very I don't want to say negative, but
well, the challenge is that we were up against some businesses that have multiple employees. They have storefronts, so people are always in and out of them. They're very aware of them. One of them that I remember is a place called Retro Replay. So it's a gaming business where you can actually go and get old school video game cartridges and things like that. So, we didn't really think we had a chance in heck.
Honestly, I would have voted for a place like that if we weren't entered to it. Because that sounds, we're at that age when retro is something from the 70s and 80s. Exactly retro.
Ms. Pac-Man console here.
Retro. So things that are retro to us are, 70s and 80s now, whereas I remember growing up, you go into a casino and you would hear, music from Happy Days, the 50s. And now you go in there and you hear disco and it's like, oh my God, I'm that old.
Well, even worse, you start hearing music from the 90s.
Yeah.
Which is 30 years ago.
Oh, there goes my back again. So anyway, this little thing with the Hawk Fire is unfolding. It's like, I remembered the Best of Carson thing. It's like, I wonder where we were just, I was just kind of randomly wondering where we placed. Because the winners were told that they would be invited to a big award ceremony, which happened yesterday.
Yeah.
No, excuse me,
Friday.
It happened Friday.
I'm not 100% clear on that now because I was looking at the award ceremony and apparently you had to buy tickets to go to it.
Well, even so.
So I guess, but I assumed, and I don't know for sure if this was the case, but I assumed they would have notified the winners in all of the categories that they had won, but nope. Apparently not.
Apparently not, because I'm scroll. There's like 50 or 60 categories. Scroll. What is that? We won.
We won our category.
We won our category. We are the most unique business in Carson City per the Nevada Appeal results for 2026. We won. And it's like, well, that's cool.
What the heck?
What the heck?
No idea how that happened. I mean, we did vote for ourselves, obviously, but apparently other people must have voted for us too because, like I said, there are businesses that would have employees and, maybe they were too busy to vote for themselves, honestly. They're actually doing business, whereas we're puttering around with our writing. So
we won.
Somehow or other, we won.
So we haven't decided how we're going to handle this. We will remember the little people we stepped on our rise to the top. Okay, no, never mind.
No, the challenge is going to be there are very popular places like some of the local casinos, for example, who have multiple years in a row. Yeah. It's like Best of Carson, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is our first win. Can we keep it?
Yeah.
Are the categories going to shift next year?
But we have this one in our back pocket.
We do have one, yes.
Sort of like that when we won, or you won, or however you want to won the podcasting award.
Right. That was out of the blue too.
Yeah, we came in first on that, and it's like, here I am working along. I get a text, we won. It's like, what?
Well, that was funny because the way they did it was there was a virtual award ceremony, and I was contacted and said, you placed in the top 3. They did not announce to the people that they invited who had won. And so when I went into the virtual celebration of this competition, I had no expectation of having to do anything. So when they announced it, my response was literally, wait, what? So then I had to do a little speech and stuff. And what was really funny is that if anybody is familiar with Yardley Smith, who is the voice of Lisa Simpson on The Simpsons, her podcast, I can't think of the name of it. It has something to do with crime. But her podcast won her category as well. And I think hers came up before mine. And I'm like, well, if Yardley Smith won, I'm not going to win anything. So I was even doubly shocked because I was like, wait, what?
That's fun.
And you just never know because, well, we weren't really going to talk about it, but we entered the America's Favorite Couple competition, or I entered us in. And we actually made it quite far. We're out of the contest at this point, and I think a lot of people who are continuing on past where we were are really disillusioned by the whole thing. That one is mainly to fundraise for a couple of charitable organizations. So there were a lot of couples entered in it, and it was, it was kind of fun because we progressed through up to the top 5 pretty easily because we ended up in 4th place and we just sat there. But once we reached the top 5, we couldn't get any higher than that. So
it was fun.
But it was fun, and I think that I feel bad for the people who have been very discouraged by it. But like I said, it's a fundraiser for a charitable organization. So the more people that you can get to vote for you donation-wise, the higher you're going to rank. So people started talking about buying votes, and you had to go into it with the right mindset, I think.
Yeah, money.
Money.
So anyway, congratulations to Two More Books LLC for their win of Best of Carson and as the most unique business in Carson City for 2026.
Yep.
And you're looking at it right here, right now. This is it. Yeah. Okay.
I guess that makes us unique because, like I said, all of the other ones would have had a storefront, and we just go out and about every once in a while, which we're even cutting back on that a little bit now. So, if anybody else voted for us, thank you.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
So if you see us at appearances, segue. If you see us at appearances, we are definitely going to have a little stand up there, or something that says Best of Carson, and that is why. And might as well just say that we are going to be, somebody is going to have to get that all printed up in time for Tuesday, where we will be at the Churchill County Library in Fallon, Nevada, and CC is going to do a talk. I did it. I was an embarrassment to the company. Yes, I'm always still one. Your turn is coming up, and you're going to be talking about your books.
I think the topic of my conversation is going to be the romance of Nevada, because at least 2 of these books are mostly set in Nevada. This one is not, but we do write romance. We're currently writing the prequel to this one, but I think both of us like to pepper romance into all of our writing. We love Nevada, obviously, which is why so many of our books are set in Nevada, so it will probably be about that. I don't know for sure what the topic is going to be yet. I probably should figure it out.
Yeah.
Because that's the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think somebody else went into it with just kind of off-the-cuff ideas. So that's one of the things. Many, many years ago, I actually was a member of Toastmasters. And they taught off-the-cuff speaking. And it served me well.
And speaking of writing for Nevada, segue again. Battleborn Bride is up for pre-order on the platforms. Well,
yes.
Is it on the all five platforms?
I think so. Didn't you show me you showed me something. So.
That's right. It's on Draft to Digital.
Yes.
It's on Draft to Digital.
Yeah.
So it's posted Amazon and it's on Draft to Digital. So it's out there for pre-sale on all the platforms. So go for it. Pre-order.
And we're doing something a little bit different with Battleborn Bride because previously JT has uploaded things separately to Barnes & Noble and Google Play and places like that. This time we went straight to Draft to Digital, aside from the one ebook that I uploaded to Amazon, because we bought our own ISBNs, which is the number on the barcode on the back of your book. So when you look at this back here, I think this one is actually an ISBN that we bought. And there are challenges. So each version of your book has to have a specific ISBN separately. And we did not realize that when we first started uploading things. So we've had some challenges with Draft to Digital.
Yeah, publishing that puppy was just a cluster from beginning to end.
But yeah, this book is cursed.
Yeah.
But Battleborn Bride, what we did was I uploaded the ebook to Amazon, and I didn't need to use an ISBN for that. And I did that specifically so I could put it on pre-sale. Then we uploaded it to Draft to Digital in both ebook and paperback versions. The paperback version has one singular ISBN. Draft to Digital is now pushing that out to all the other platforms like Barnes & Noble and Amazon, so that we don't have to upload it specifically. The challenge that gives us is that previously we've done our author copies through Amazon, and Amazon has the quickest turnaround time and it's the least expensive. Draft to Digital is a little bit more expensive, and the turnaround time has me a little bit worried because we are waiting for the proof copy. We cannot order any author copies until we accept the proof copy. We make sure everything's okay and it doesn't need to be changed. And that it hasn't shipped yet. I don't even think it's printed yet.
Yeah.
We are heading into the end of August, and I am going to be having a big book event on October 18th. So that's what, 7 weeks? Yeah, the turnaround is a little challenging.
It's a little stressful.
Hopefully,
yeah,
the proof copy comes in and we can accept it and order the author copies right away, and hopefully that turnaround time will be quicker, because this is new for us. Amazon, aside from haunt season, like I said, this book is cursed. JT ordered author copies of his books, and they came with no problem, all in one box, great shape. This thing was, what, 5 or 6 different?
Yeah, it was just, and you ended up canceling part of the order too. Yeah,
canceled part of the order because they kept pushing it out. It was already more than 10 days past when I had expected it to arrive. I don't know why they ended up breaking it up into multiple
cursed
shipments like that. And I'm not apparently the only author this has happened to. It sounds like all of the printers have been having challenges, so that's got me extra worried about Battleborn Bride now, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And the last thing that's on our agenda today, not to minimize what you're saying, I'm just, keeping you going. And we're not minimizing it by any way, just because I've been living with it every single day. But
the man whose books came with no problem.
Like that's my fault.
No, but he's a little blasé about it because he hasn't lived through it personally. Wait. When he has problems, we're going to hear about it. You just wait.
Anyway. Before we talk about the last thing that's on the agenda, just a very quick note to say hello to all of our friends out there. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Terry. TerryCase.com. Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
And other folks that are following along, we sure appreciate you.
Cap
we think
and
of
Dan.
you, and we don't mean just to shrink it down to those 3, because we know there are many other people that watch and listen to the podcast. We just that's who we're going to say hi to. We can say
I was just saying, Cap and Dan.
Cap and Dan. Yeah. Again, they're not trapped. The last thing on the agenda, just very quickly, is if you are longtime followers of our podcast, you know that we like to invite writers, mostly independent writers, but we get traditional too, onto the podcast, and we have fun with both. And so probably this week I'm going to get myself organized and start sending out invitations and notices to writers who've reached out to us and said, hey, we want to be on your podcast. And what we'll do is we'll start grinding those out, because we have so much fun and we learn things, and it's kind of a giggle.
We've made some great connections. There are people that we're still following along with on social media that we've interviewed, and we're watching their adventures, and we've actually made friends with people that way. And we just recently did a Nevada Author Network podcast on Ken Sutherland.
Yeah.
And we've been talking to him at different events around town, both here and in Reno. And he's a great guy. Check out his books.
Oh, please.
It's like he's a former radio broadcaster. So he's got an interesting backstory. And I'm currently reading his Heartbreaker, the Chuck Donegan mystery, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's my TBR list is out of control because I want to read everybody's books.
Yeah, we interview these people, we hear their processes, we hear everything about them, and it says like they either send us their books or we end up buying their books, which either way we appreciate. And so it's just.
So I guess the next logical progression is we interview people on our podcast. We have not yet offered to be guests on other podcasts, so I don't know how JT feels about that, but I'm kind of leaning on trying that myself.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to chat about?
No, I think we covered it. We're obviously we're still monitoring what's going on up north of us because it's affecting a lot of people. And like I said before, if you are in that area, if you have family in that area, you have our sympathies because we know how stressful this is. And it's, we don't know what's going to happen today because the last time I checked, I don't know what it says now, but there was zero containment on this fire.
Yeah, let me see. Let me click here. Yep, no containment. And like I said, it's gone from Peavine, all the way directly at our daughter's house.
Not to mention thousands of other people. So, and there's at least one school directly in the path, 2 schools. Well, one of them they abandoned the other one, the elementary.
Oh, really?
Next door, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Stead Elementary, I think, is closed. But there are a series of businesses on that street. There are a lot of warehouses out in that area. There are Amazon warehouses. There's a JCPenney distribution area. It's really built up out there. So this is affecting a lot of people and businesses.
Okay, so on that bright and cheery note.
Well, we will hope. The cameras look much better this morning. Currently the winds are calmer. So hopefully as the day progresses, we'll start to see the containment creep up a little bit. But thoughts also go out to the firefighters. Thank you. All the first responders. Thank you for all the very dangerous work that you're doing.
Yep, you're definitely, we're thinking of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, time to segue to, today's word I guess is segue. Time to segue to the commercial. You can check out this podcast and other podcasts both on Spotify and on YouTube, plus other, Spotify feed podcast platforms that Spotify feeds to. Excuse me. Via our website at www.carsonhume.com. We have a lot of podcasts. We have a lot of books. We have right there in a banner form, 99-cent books. You should buy all of them.
I think actually both of these are 99-cent ebooks.
Ebooks. So please buy the books. Buy them frequently. Buy them for all your friends. Bye.
And also the caveat is if you cannot afford them, they are available through libraries as well. So if your local library does not carry them, you can go in and request a copy that way as well.
And also, if you, I completely lost my brain. Oh well.
If you
sign up for our newsletter, if you sign up for your newsletter, we will send you a novella for free. We will send it to you in PDF or EPUB. And so you can put it on your mobile device and for reading and whatever.
You just saw in real time our one brain cell firing at the same time.
Yeah. Until next week, which we may actually do what we had on the agenda today. Over there is CC.
Over there is JT.
We thank you for your kind patience, and you all take care now. Bye-bye.